OMG, baby, tell him.
Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by Backers. It's Justin Fox. I am joined here by Sandy Rutherford. Sandy, thank you very much for joining me on the show.
Great to be here, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So it's a beautiful, somewhat sunny fall day out. And so I'll do a quick little bio. So Sandy, you are a success and mindset coach. You're the founder and partner of RF Success Academy, which is a powerful organization passionate about and dedicated to helping people master dream goal achievement.
Yeah.
Is that in a nutshell? Hang on. Perfect. So welcome to the show. Why don't we unpack that a little bit? That last sentence, dedicated to helping people, or passionate about and dedicated to helping people master dream goal achievement. What do you mean by that? I mean, I could probably pick it out, but what do you mean by that?
And it's such a loaded question.
I am sure. Yeah, we can go a lot of different directions on your answer.
I know.
Yeah.
No, you know what? But it's a great question to start with. I mean, first of all, let's parse it. Dream goals.
Right.
We've all got them, but
Right.
we don't. Too much of the time, we don't pay any attention to them because we're already rejecting them for a bunch of different reasons. I don't have the time. I don't know how to do that. The self-image goes on. I'd love that, but no way. Right? We can so quickly reject dream goals, and yet we're all capable of extraordinary success, magical success, because we're all sitting on a shitload of talent and giftedness and capability that we're barely scratching the surface of. Why I love what I do is because we are all capable of dream goals.
Right.
And I don't want people to snuff out those dreams because of those reasons I just stated. And there's many more reasons why we talk ourselves away from big goals. So we've all got dreams within us. There's a science behind success. There's an actual step-by-step how success works. Most people, first of all, don't know. We're not taught it anywhere. Secondly, we may know some of the things to do, but
I was going to say that wasn't biology 101. They don't teach the science of success, right? Or physics 101. That's not the lesson. So
wish it was.
Yeah. Well, So what is that science? Like, maybe we can go that direction. What is that science?
Sure. There's a step-by-step with how success works.
Right.
And first of all success begins with desire. Desire. Okay. When I say desire, I don't mean wishful thinking. And most people, again, I'd love to leave my job and start my own business. Oh, I'd love it if I could triple my income or 10 times my income. It just sits in the conscious, I'd love to, but ... We just don't go there. Desire, though, if you think of, I always love mentioning over the top or using over the top examples like a Richard Branson or an Elon Musk or an Oprah Winfrey. People that go, can you imagine? I would love to do whatever, right?
Right.
They're coming from desire. So when we mastering dream goal achievement means you got to start with desire. You've got to start there, and you've got to dig into, why do you want that? What would it do? What kind of impact would it have on your life, on other people's lives? What's so important about what? You got to get at the desire.
So you start to think a little deeper into it a little more, right? As opposed to just, hey, that'd be cool or that'd be nice.
Absolutely.
It's more like starting to really map it out a little bit.
And it's giving yourself permission to go there.
Right.
Because again, we're not taught, let me think every quarter or twice a year or even annually. Let me think, what do I really want? We don't do that. We just keep moving along.
Plodding
we get our degree
away.
and we bump into a job or whatever, right?
Right. That's interesting. So desire is step one. Do you want to maybe go through the steps, or is there a set number of steps to success?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, without going into all the depths of it. I mean, it's a simple process, but it's just not easy because we're working against how we're already programmed, right?
Yeah.
But to cover it off in a way I love to explain it, all success begins with desire. Okay, so that you need to be clear, crystal clear. Most people aren't. Often I'll speak to people about, what do you want? And they'll say, I'd like to be financially healthy. I'll say, that's great. That's a condition. I want that too. Everybody wants that. That's not a goal though. The mind has no clue how to go to work and create a path to that. You got to be specific. What does financial health mean to you? Maybe you mean 100,000 a month. For someone else, it might mean 5,000 a month. For it. So clarity is really, really important.
Right.
Okay. And again, getting those feelings involved. So once you've got that involved, then you've got to work on the habits to make that happen. Well, right now, our habits are making our current results happen. So now you have to start looking at, I mean, we've all got a lot of great habits, and habits just means it's programmed, right? We've all got a lot of great habits, and I mean habitual ways of thinking and feeling about money, about business development, selling, closing the sale, work-life balance, parenting, relationships, success, everything, right? We're all programmed, and we have habitual behavior. Well, a lot of that habitual behavior has served us well in life, but we're not achieving the success we want because some of that habitual behavior is working against us. So once you're clear on what you want, you now have to go to work on shifting the habits. And another big part is that self-image. That's a big part of what we work on, because you can only go as far as your self-image allows. And dream goals are outside your self-image programming. If your self-image already supported your dream goal, you'd be making it happen by now, because your self-image would be going, yeah, got this, let me at it, right?
Right.
But it's not. So you have to get the self-image strong enough to support your dream goal. Okay, make sense?
So that, I mean, I'll not to stop you there, but that's probably, I mean, you've probably touched on about 10 points that are very difficult for people to overcome. I mean, obviously, you talk about the habits, people have sort of the underlying good or bad habits that they get in sort of that rut of just kind of going through the motions. And then you've got the confidence, I think, of whether you feel like you can achieve more or greater. And that's obviously, I think, I'll speak from my own experience, maybe ingrained from a young age where, maybe things weren't expected of you, or maybe you were told you weren't or couldn't, or maybe there was sort of like, not that you couldn't, but maybe just expectations were placed that made it seem or feel inherently where, there was sort of that glass ceiling, if you will, that was placed on you. So I guess one of the questions I would ask, and I'll ask for myself, and I mean, I've been, I think, very fortunate. I've taken some crazy risks. I mean, I'll give you an example. I just had a call this morning, an amazing call. So about 5 years ago, watching the NHL overtime, I thought, hey, that's amazing, 3-on-3. What if there was a pro hockey league that was exclusively 3-on-3? And then jokingly,
I'd be there.
Well, this is it. Jokingly with my buddy, I said, that would be amazing. What would we call it? I said the 3HL. The next morning, I incorporated 3HL Inc. And for the past 4 years, it's been on hold a little bit, but I've been trying to grow my own 3-on-3 professional hockey league. Started with a Twitter page, then it got into, we played 18 events across Southern Ontario. We had NHL players in the league. So it went from like a crazy idea from a guy who, not in that space whatsoever. And I just went for it. People thought I was crazy. And thankfully this morning, I got a call, actually yesterday, I got a message from somebody from a major broadcasting network. They would be potentially interested in looking at content as, a proposal for the 3HL to be on their platform, which is, would that just take it to the next level? So I agree with the dream goal. I didn't know I had it in me, and I think I'm crazy, which is why, and I'd already started another entrepreneurial venture, which had kind of given me that, experience to think I could go the next level. And, so I think there's all that, there's always stages, and definitely you learn more as you do more. So my question to you would be, what advice would you give to somebody that's kind of in that like very early stages, maybe hasn't tried anything, hasn't potentially accomplished anything, although I mean, every day of living is somewhat of an accomplishment, especially in the current environment. But what would be sort of that, like, what's that advice to kind of give to somebody who's in that early stage? Because I think 99% of the population, if not 100% of the population, is always at some point in that early stage, right?
Sure.
Everything starts somewhere, right? So what would be kind of that advice to somebody?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, first of all, when people have those ideas, as I said earlier, most people bail on them because they just reject it, thinking, I can't, how am I going to do that? So it doesn't.
It is a hard hill to climb, right?
I know.
Or a hard hump to overcome.
I know, but again, here's how success works. You don't have to know about the how.
Right.
Okay, that's a big one to swallow. It's like, what do you mean I don't know? Because we all want to go, I'd love to commit to something that big, but I gotta, if I could do that, and then I can see, yeah, maybe I'll commit. It's like, that's not how success works.
Right.
When you get this great idea, and it is coming from within, so you know you want to see that happen, and that's your example is fabulous. You just had this great idea. Oh, right.
That would be amazing. I thought it'd be crazy, right? Yeah.
Right. So when that happens, and so you're coming from the desire, so you're emotionally jazzed, and you commit. You just started to make it happen. You took action. It's only then when you make the decision to start moving towards it, it's only then that your mind switches to a whole new frequency and starts to pop the ideas.
And then it's sort of that momentum, or it's like momentum, right? You kind of, you open the door and you're like, hey, you know what? We're going to do it.
Right.
Let's give it a shot. And now everything sort of that mindset changes, right?
And again, it's only when you make that big decision, that committed, like, you know what, let's do this, that your mind will shift.
Right.
When you leave yourself a big back door open and your butt's halfway out or your toes out, you know, I'll give it a sort of a try and otherwise I'm moving this, then your mind's still stuck where you are.
So it's the all-in mentality. Do you think you have to be,
Absolutely.
So sort of push the chips, send the chips and go all in.
But the beautiful thing is, and we have to trust this, because this is how it works. When you do commit, and I know it's scary, it's like, what if? But what if spun negatively is fear? What if spun positively is faith? What if it really works out and I create this, right? So it's that what ifism that really gets in our way. But the moment that you do make that decision, okay, you know what, let's do this. Your mind will start to pop ideas. And you said something a few minutes ago, Justin, I didn't know I had it in me. I don't know how many times I hear that. I didn't know I had it in me. But when you do commit and start to make it happen, you do draw upon all of that talent and giftedness, right? You draw more out of you.
Right. So you kind of step into, you give so by, let me just rephrase this. So by sort of accepting or pursuing the idea, you subconsciously give your mind the opportunity to actually go pursue it, and then you give yourself an opportunity to step into something that maybe you didn't necessarily know today that you had it in you to do, right?
Because
so you kind of expand your horizons a little bit, right?
You will find the resources within you every single time, because you don't lack talent or capability ever.
Right.
Ever.
Or you find someone else that can complement it, or you'll find a way. You'll find a way to make it happen.
You will always find a way.
Interesting.
And that's, by the way, what you'll hear highly successful people, they'll say, oh, yeah, okay, so let's use Steve Jobs sitting in his garage. Oh, can you imagine if we got this computer and we blah, 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 and people around him, oh, come on, how are you ever going to do that? You know what his answer would have been? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But let's do this. Where are you going to get the money from? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But let's do this, right? We'll find a way is a powerful, true statement.
Find a way. And one of the things that I've the words that I've looked at is persistence versus perseverance, right? And I think I might be a little off, but the definition of persistence is like trying to persist at the same thing, sort of the same way on the same path. Whereas perseverance is more of the ability to have sort of the end goal, but to waver or to veer off sort of in different ways, where you can sort of change your direction, pivot, do different things with an end goal of X, whatever that maybe, a new life or a new product or new opportunity. But it's sort of that persevering through changes, iterations, and variables, right?
Right.
Which
course
I think
correcting. I call it course correcting.
Course correcting. I actually, I was talking with someone, that he made an interesting comment. He asked like, how much of a 6-hour flight from, Toronto to Vancouver, let's say, do you think the plane's actually on the flight path? Right. And I mean, his answer was very little. Like the actual flight path, the plane's kind of veering because of wind and it's up and down. Right. So it's getting to the path, but it's sort of veering on its path. It's getting sort of to the destination, but the path is changing.
I've heard the statistic that's 95% of the time it's off course.
Right.
It
yeah.
just continues to course correct.
Right. That was sort of, I guess, his point. He didn't give me the specifics, but that's exactly the point. It gets to the same destination though, but
absolutely
95% of the time it's not on course, which is, I mean, it's planes and, but if you think about it, like from a, whatever your pursuit is, it means that even though you're pursuing that, there's going to be a lot of course correction, as you said. I love that. That's actually a really good term.
Yeah, and we use that plane analogy or torpedo analogy. Okay. A torpedo will go off course to 95% of the time and keep course correcting until it hits its target. When your mind has that target and it's locked in, emotionally locked in, we'll go off course. We don't know. Rarely do we have a straight path to our goal.
Right.
We'll go off course too, but the mind keeps going, oh, that didn't work. Oh, what else? Oh, I need another idea, right? Keeps course correcting. Right. And so that is how success works. It's just so cool to see it happen.
Interesting. And that's actually how Backers started. So I started the 3HL trying to fund the teams, came across the concept of the Green Bay Packers, community-owned teams, came across the concept of equity crowdfunding, tried to figure out how to use it for the 3HL. No one was facilitating it, so I thought I'd build my own funding platform.
I love it.
Hence what Backers is. But so it's sort of all end. So in each iterative way, we got sort of to the next stage. Interesting. Okay, so the RF Success Academy, and I know you also are with Proctor Gallagher Institute. Are you still with Proctor Gallagher as well?
Yeah, well, we are certified. So Karen Fiorini is my business partner. So she and I are both certified as coaches for Bob that work with Bob Proctor. So we work with Bob, facilitating people through his success system in our environment because it's our business to build, right?
Right.
So you're working with us. You're being taught by Bob through this success system, and we are guiding you through this in our environment which has a ton of support, because in this elite level world of personal development, you can't do it on your own. Many of us, me included, tried. I tried to course correct myself when I had high level success in corporate and as a physio, highly sought after physio, highly successful leader in corporate, switched to being an entrepreneur thinking I'd be one of these highly successful entrepreneurs, and that was not happening.
And you did your MBA as well, right?
So I did my MBA to switch out of healthcare into corporate.
Right. Interesting. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, when I was struggling as an entrepreneur, when I thought I'd be successful, because I never had to work at being successful. But sometimes when we switch environments, we can't recreate the same success, and we're not taught how success works, so we can't figure out how to create new success.
It's almost like you've built habits in the one sort of environment, and now you're sometimes it crosses over, but definitely being able to recreate it is very difficult. Right?
Right, because we're not taught how to create it in the first place. Right. We're what we call unconscious competence. So I was highly competent in corporate and in healthcare, and then I found myself not very competent as an entrepreneur. So to your point, bang on. My programming was totally aligned with structure.
Right.
Hospital structure, corporate structure. What structure have you got as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, you're flying often. You're building the plane as you're flying, right? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If that's the analogy, we'll keep with the plane analogies. Okay, so walk me through. I'd love to sort of get an idea or sense. The people that are watching, we work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Kind of going through the various processes. We often look at things like, I think the more, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe like I don't know what the term is. You might have a term for it. I'll name what I mean. So like the marketing, the sales, the accounting, the legal, the tech development. So sort of your infrastructure. What would you classify as those? I would classify what you're talking about as important, if not more important, in sort of the mindset and the coaching and the how you look at leadership, how you bring on and relate to your, your employees, your staff, or how you look at, as you said, working with a lot of variables that are up in the air at all times. So the uncertainty, like those types of things, how would you classify, traditional business building kind of aspects, if you will, with sort of, I would think, something that's as important and maybe is now becoming more recognized in the sense of the mindset?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because everything begins and ends in the mind.
Okay.
Right? You can have people that have all the coaching and been on all the sales programs, high quality sales programs, Grant Cardone stuff, great stuff. You can line up all that proper coaching and training and still be failing or still be underperforming. Why? That's in the way. So if you get your mindset aligned with what you're trying to achieve, and then you get the necessary training, expertise that you need, whether it's sales or business ops or marketing, social media, whatever it is, your future is, your destiny is gold, right? Mindset, it all begins with mindset.
Right. I agree. So I guess my next question, I wanted to sort of distinguish. So the mindset, and then you've got, that's kind of an underlying, if you will, must have. Let's walk me through somebody comes to you, says, "Hey, Sandy, I'd like to work with you guys." How would that play out? Like, what does that process look like for an entrepreneur or anyone? I would assume you work with, anyone sort of in any sector, not just entrepreneurs, or is it exclusively entrepreneurs? I think we froze. Are you there, Sandy? Sandy, oh, you froze there for a bit. Sorry.
No, I just froze. That's
okay.
all right.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, we're back.
What's
okay.
the journey?
Yeah. What is the journey? Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if we basically caught none of that. So yeah, what does it look like for an entrepreneur or anyone that comes to you? Do you work with everyone or just entrepreneurs?
No, everyone. I've got
Okay.
I've got a couple of ex-CEOs.
Okay.
I've got everything from A to Z, from people that have started their own business to people who are in corporate, real estate agents, insurance, mortgage, network marketers, across the board.
Perfect. So what does that process look like? They sit down and say, "Hey, Sandy, I want to go from here to there." What does that look like?
Well, so my first question is, how serious are you?
Right.
Because we all talk about, I want to make things happen. But for those that go, no, I'm serious. You know what? I don't want the same kinds of results anymore. I definitely want bigger and better for myself. And that's listening to the human spirit. The spirit is always about expansion. I might be.
I can hear you, but you're sort of frozen. Yeah. Keep going. I think your video
All right, I'll keep going.
Froze. Yeah.
So when somebody's serious, then we'll work with people through a 6-month success system. It's called Thinking into Results.
Okay.
We're teaching you how to think above and beyond the programming that's limiting you. So your results are going to shift. So this is a program where you're taught by Bob Proctor, top guy in the world at human potential, success, and the power of that mind over both. Okay. And he's been teaching it for over 50 years. He's created more millionaires, billionaires, success stories than anyone alive. He was in the movie The Secret and into the movie Think and Grow Rich. So you're being taught by Bob through this video and audio based success system, and we guide you step by step with one-on-one coaching, group coaching, lunch and learns, open office hours, study clubs, all sorts of things that you can pick and choose that works for you. But the bottom line is you're rolling up your sleeves if you're serious about dream goals for yourself, and we're rolling up our sleeves with you to show you how to apply it, because it's the application. Again, you can go immerse into this information on your own and go, "Oh, it's so amazing, it's inspiring, it's motivating, and yes, I want to start doing this tomorrow and differently," and you don't. You go right back to your old programming. So you need the help. You need the supportive environment, the higher vibration environment of like-minded people all going after bigger and better. You need that environment that you're in with us, and we work with you to show you how to apply it step by step.
Interesting. It's like I think the term is an idea without execution is hallucination. Is that I'm off something along
No,
those lines.
that's close. Yeah.
I'm terrible with my quotes. I'm like the guy in the commercial. Have you seen the commercials where he's like two birds in a hand is better than a dog
Yeah.
in the bush or whatever, right? Have you
Yes.
seen those ones?
I
Yeah,
have.
yeah. And it's the guy who says all these wrong metaphors, mixed metaphors. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. But
You're doing just fine because
yeah.
I'm getting them.
yeah. But okay, so that's interesting. So yeah, definitely. So there's sort of a coaching aspect to it where, if you would have, here's another metaphor. If you could have done it alone, you would have done it already, right? I mean, there's a lot
Totally.
of, around like smoking and all these different things, right?
Right.
And
And
there's stuff like that.
We all need help. We
Right.
all need help to apply this. Or yeah, you're right. If we could have done it, we would have done it a long time ago. If it was as simple as what we call shelf help, just go buy the books, jump on the programs and stuff like that, then 95% of us would be highly successful. It's the opposite. 95% still want better for themselves. Right? So you need the guidance of someone. Bob Proctor will say this: if you want to substantially change your results, then find someone who's been where you want to go. Okay, so that's Bob Proctor, people like me that are on the other side, and then do exactly what they tell you to do. And most people don't. They go, no, I get it. I don't think I'll do that much, but I'll do. No, do exactly what they tell you to do, because they're on the other side, and we've all got blind spots.
Right.
So you want somebody there to catch you when you're in your blind spot, to connect the dots for you, because we can't connect them. As Steve Jobs said, okay, here's a quote: you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking back. So I can't connect the dots looking forward to my dream goal, but somebody on the other side who's already achieved that kind of thing can help me connect the dots. Getting
sort of the retrospective hindsight, right?
And so lastly, accountability is huge.
Right. Well, that I was gonna talk about that. That's definitely so. I had a question. So accountability, that's interesting. You brought that up. So I think that's huge. I think you look at, I played team sports growing up, or sports in general. I think as a team, you're accountable to your teammates, your coach, you obviously to yourself, you want to perform, you want to do well. But if you were out there alone, like how many laps would you be doing of the ice, or, of the rink, or, running? I remember playing lacrosse down on the beaches, and, every practice, before practice, we'd do like laps to the pool and back, right? The big Olympic pool there. And, I mean, how motivated would you have to be 12 years old running your own laps? I don't know many 12-year-olds that would do any laps.
No.
Right. So you have that coaching environment. So I'm sort of bringing it to sort of maybe the way people can understand that a coach, is a coach in all aspects, right? So you're bringing to them that accountability, that experience, that leadership. You're going to give them the X's and O's, the dots, the dotted line. My question, I agree 100% with you. My question is, in your experience, this is probably, what percentage of people are actually open to that? Like I feel like a lot of people probably have really good intentions, and a lot of people drop off. Like I just wonder, like statistically, what do you see people that sort of show up, even, I mean, because the people that show up to your door are already probably 10 steps ahead of, the people that don't even show up to your doorstep, right? So I mean, they probably represent only, a percentage of the population, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, maybe 5, I don't know what percentage of that. And then of those that show up, like what kind of success rates, and I'm not trying to say that you get or anyone gets, it's just from a human nature, like what is the kind of, success rate of somebody who sticks to it, that kind of gets through that type of, I don't want you, I'm not trying to say like, give me a number like, oh, you're 30% successful. I'm just wondering, like, in sort of from a overarching, like, is it a large number that kind of inherently just human nature fall off, or, is there a way that we can really improve that overall success rate?
Yeah, so let me give you more of an order of magnitude, right?
Right.
Of the people
Yeah.
that actually enroll in the coaching with us, a very small percentage get nothing, go nowhere, and fade away.
Okay, so that's good.
Because because it's not like it's $10 to do coaching with us, right?
Right.
It's a bigger investment, so you got more skin in the game, and which means you're more serious, which is why my first question is how committed, how serious are you, right?
Right. Go back
So
to,
we're
yeah.
already filtering, if you will, because I don't want you spending money, but wasting money with me. If you're not serious, don't come aboard with me. I don't want your money, right? I want to work with people who really do want to create change. So we're already past that first hurdle. So everyone in the program, the majority, like I'd say 95% of the people in the program, they benefit from being in this program.
Okay. So significant percentage,
Well,
pretty much,
benefit because you're
right.
bringing out more of who you are. You're starting to understand how success works. You're starting to feel better about yourself. So there's
Right.
already uplift. Okay. Now the ones that are on the other end, there's the there's a solid percentage of people that are hitting it out of the park because they're dead serious and they're doing everything we tell them to do.
Right.
And if you do everything we tell you to do, you're going to see massive change. Okay?
That's got to be hard for people, though. I mean, I'm not doubting. I think I agree with you. If you have the coach and you step in, and I agree with what you're saying with the, kind of how committed are you, and if you've sort of put in a, significant investment into it, and you're willing, and you've made that sort of mental commitment to it, and you've got someone like yourself that's stepping sort of in there to be that, kick in the ass that, when needed, I guess, right, and kind of hold them accountable. That you can definitely make change. That's awesome. It's good to hear that there is a model that can get people to shift. I guess the next part of the question maybe is, how do you get more people to the doorstep, right, to actually get to that commitment, right? Because I think those are also maybe the naysayers, the detractors for the people that are in, that have the ideas. It's often, it's the large majority of the population. Is there a solution for them? Is there something we can do for them, or what? Yeah, where do we go with the average person to say, hey, you know what? Stop being so negative, right? Stop being, doubting yourself. Maybe try new things, experience new things, and kind of step outside of your comfort zone.
So a lot of that's education, right? Just raising people's awareness level that you're capable of so much more. Do you want more? Because it's there within you.
Right.
And allowing people and having people give themselves permission to explore, what would I do differently? Right. And so as soon as you catch more people into that, you're getting more people going, you know what, I really wouldn't mind doing, something different or more. And one of the things that we do is we have a private Facebook group called Manifesting with RFSA, so RF Success Academy, which used to be called Manifesting Millions. And it's a free private Facebook group, but we do a lot. We did a phenomenal free training on there, a 5-day training 2 weeks ago called Break Free and Break Through. Break free of what holds you here and break through to higher levels of success. We do free trainings frequently on there. There's a lot of cool tools that we put in there. So that's just there to capture people's interest and curiosity and raise the awareness. And then a certain number of those are going to go, you know what, I'd love to work with you guys. I really need the help to get to break free and break through, right?
Right. Interesting. So I think you mentioned it's sort of like almost society has placed these kind of boundaries on people, or like we talked about at the beginning, through their upbringing. When you said RFSA, I was thinking of TFSA, but that's a completely different tax-free savings accounts. But yeah, what is that private Facebook group? I mean, shout that out, let everyone know, so maybe people can jump in on that. What was it again?
It's called Manifesting with RFSA.
Manifesting with RFSA. So search that out. I'll check it out as well. Well, Sandy, I really appreciate you joining me today. I think it's definitely insightful. Mindset is huge. So thank you for joining me. It's been
Thank you
great.
for having me. It's been awesome. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, perfect. So usually I ended on sort of a one question, or I'll have a choose your own adventure. The one question I usually ask, what's one word that, or one piece of advice, usually one word that you would give to, say, a younger you or somebody else that's kind of coming out. So I'd love to hear your word. And then I'd like to sort of, I was going to just say, like, if there was a way you could do like a quick kind of coaching for maybe, the audience, do like a little quick 2-minute coaching, like, and maybe an exercise that they could sort of take with them. I think that'd be kind of cool as well. If you, not to put you on the spot or throw you on the spot, but maybe give them like a quick little, like, hey, do this, do this, do this. I know it's not so simple, but I think the more people that you give sort of that quick little intro, and then you get them to sort of think, might expand that. So yeah, what is one word that you would say to a younger Sandy Rutherford, sort of coming up, piece of advice?
Without sounding my own horn, because it doesn't have to be me anyway, get coaching through this elite level understanding of how success works. I wish I'd done this years ago.
Right.
And if
coaching.
everybody was doing this, absolutely. Well, because we need the help. Yeah, you need the help. And you need the accountability, because we do let ourselves off the hook. So absolutely, get help. Doesn't have to be me. Go get somebody who knows how to get you where you want to go. Get
help. I'm not gonna.
Yes,
I'm probably throwing myself under the bus, but at a younger age, I was told to get help. But anyways, that's something. So okay, do it. Let's do it. Do you mind? Can you do like a quick little 1 minute, 2 minute coaching session? Like pretend I'm an entrepreneur, or coach me into, how would we do the first 3 minutes of a coaching session, or what would you want me to kind of do if you had a elevator ride to get me into coaching?
I would want you to, I say, Justin, I want you to just clear your mind, forget all the constraints and what you're doing right now. What if you could do anything, if you could wave that magic wand and step through into a phenomenal next chapter? Again, forget about your current circumstances, what so-and-so would say. Do you think you could or not? What would you start thinking of for yourself? And I want you to start writing that down, because I want you to do this every morning. Take 10 minutes with your water or smoothie or coffee. Go, let me just brainstorm. Give yourself permission to brainstorm, because we don't do this. So do that every morning for 7 days, and just keep a list going. And you're going to see some themes. I keep going back to this one or this one. And write down anything that pops. I'd love to be a professional bird watcher. Write it down. Something inside you wanted it.
Right. So
you might not act on it.
From different things. Yeah.
You got to listen to your inner voice. Your inner voice, which we're not trained to listen to, doesn't lead us astray. It doesn't. So listen to that, and after a week, you're going to have a whole bunch of ideas. Then decide, what? I'm going to give one of these a test. I'm going to start moving towards one of these in the next 3 months or 6 months. I want to play with this idea. And then commit. No excuses. No excuses. You're going to come up with a ton of them. No excuses. Start going after one of those.
I like it. That's step one. That's kind of the get started. Take action, right? So 7 days. So there you go. Actionable item for everyone watching. Do a 7-day kind of just I don't know, not scrapbooking. What would you call that?
It's a workbook. Notes.
Note taking of sort of ideas.
Journaling.
Journaling, I guess was the word I was thinking. Yeah. So sort of just journaling some of the ideas of things that you would like to see happen in your life, or do, or wants, or desires, or all those things, and then start to pick out some high level, sort of recurring themes, and pick one and pursue it.
And you know what? Feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you a free coaching session to go through that.
There you go.
I'd love to hear what you're thinking of.
There you go.
Push you higher.
Awesome. There you go. So reach out to Sandy. Where can they reach you? You mentioned the Facebook group. Can they find you on like LinkedIn? Obviously, Sandy Rutherford.
Yep.
Twitter, Facebook. Would you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, so RF Success Academy has a Facebook page as well.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. So you can find me there and private message me there.
Right. RF as in Rutherford. What was the F?
Fiorini.
So RF
Academy,
Success Academy. So check them out.
And we have
yeah.
a website, right?
Oh, website, right.
rsuccessacademy.com. So
Right.
you can book a session there, a free session.
Good old webs. Who uses websites anymore, right? It's all social
I know.
No, I'm kidding. But cool. Well, Sandy, thank you very, very much for joining me
Justin, thank
on
you.
the show. Everyone else, this is One Take, powered by Backers. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Sandy, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Cheers. You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
OMG, baby, tell 'em.